Well, good morning, fun seekers. Hi, y'all. And a Merry Christmas to you. Frosty looking outside. Looks a little Christmassy out there. It is Friday. It is our catch-up day. Don't you love it? It's the day that we give back to you, where you can call in and talk about anything that's been going on all week long, get caught up on your gossip, or create some new gossip if you'd like to. Going to have a big time. Were you listening to the radio and television last night? I don't know how it was in your part of the world, but in Atlanta, talking about the rain freezing in the heart of all this, and we were up in the mountains, and they convinced me. Went outside, and it was raining and freezing, and you could hear the trees cracking in the woods, and the limbs breaking off, pine trees. So I came south. I decided I wanted to be here this morning. I didn't know if I could get off the top of that mountain or not. So I drove in and spent the night at the lovely Falcons Inn last night. Denny had the same thought, and Denny drove to Porch Towers, where he spent the night in the lovely Festus Hagen suite in a sleeping bag. So we are both here and both ready to go, and we're going to hold up our end of this thing today, gang. Talked about a lot of good stuff this week. We had our famous first annual tribute to Greece on Monday, Woody Duck on Tuesday. Been having a good time all week, and we want to hear from you, let you get caught up on what's been going on this show that you couldn't get in to talk about, or in your life, or just some new gossip. Let us go now to Irvington, Kentucky, and talk to the one and only Dick Frymire on the radio. Hello, Mr. Frymire.
Well, good morning, Cousin Ludlow.
How you doing?
Well, I'm doing a little better than tolerable this morning.
Oh.
Had a lot of excitement up here.
Oh, anything we can talk about?
Well, yes. Yesterday we had 10 inches of snow.
Wow.
I mean, it was putting it down yesterday.
Wow.
Then last Sunday night our home caught on fire. Had a big fire.
Wait a minute. Your house caught?
Yeah. And our little granddaughter turned the burner on the stove on, and there was a piece of Tupperware on it, and that caught a fire. In some way it jammed up something, and the gas kept pouring in, and I thought I had it out. And, they got out of the house, and I got confused, and I thought my little granddaughter was in the back room, so I went to try to get her, and of course, she's out. By that time, I got overcome with smoke, and I kind of finally felt my way to the front door and got out, and they had to give me oxygen for 45 minutes.
Are you all right now?
I'm doing fine. My blood pressure shot up, but it's back to normal now.
How about the house?
Well, they're going to start Monday, the restoration of it, everything. It didn't damage too much, a lot of smoke damage, and the kitchen's really a mess, and I think it'll take about 10 days for them to get it fixed. But everything's got to be painted inside.
Yeah. Well, other than that, how was your week?
Of course, then I went to Philadelphia. Monday, flew there. I did the tape that program with Bill Cosby on Tuesday at 2:30.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just right now. He was just a prince of a fellow. He sure was.
Well, don't tell us if you want anything now. I don't want to know. I won't wait and see it live.
Well, all right. I'll let you know so you can.
Yeah, you know what day that's going to be on?
No, they said they'd let me know 3 weeks in advance to when it's going to be.
Okay.
That way you can announce so the people can see all my good features,
well,
and maybe some of them are bad.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yes, it is. One thing about it, get back to the fire, I'm a strong believer in smoke detectors now. That's what saved all of us. Hadn't been with that, I don't know what would have happened.
Well, I'm glad you're all right. That's scary.
Oh, it sure is. First experience I'd ever had with a fire to on. But it's all right. I'm all right, and the family's all right. That's the main thing.
That's the only thing.
We can fix these houses.
That's right. That's the only
going right.
That's the only thing.
Well, I guess we've talked enough about my personal problems. We do have just a couple things. From Lufkin, Texas, on delayed broadcast, in Atlanta on a brass cleaner. I want to be sure to tell them mix equal parts of flour and salt and enough vinegar to make a paste. Then you rub it on. Then after you rub it on, just apply a thick layer to the brass and let it dry, and then rinse with water. And from Atlanta, I had 3 different letters on mice. How to keep them out of the house? Well, just put a few drops of peppermint oil around where they travel, and this will discourage the mice and even the rats, and they'll go over to your neighbor and just let your neighbor worry about them.
Here.
And I guess we're talking. That's enough. This foolishness.
All right, big boy.
Talk to you next Friday.
I'm glad you're all right.
And if you don't mind, skip your room for the night of the 9th of March.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Don't forget to crow.
I won't. I'll make Frymire some reservations. 1-800-572-8255. Catch up day. Join us. Hop-on Seekers Ludlow Porch for the allergy-free permanent electrostatic air filter. Allergy-free. Listen, if you have an allergy, if you have asthma, if you have something that's bothering you, you don't need any dust in your house. You don't need any dust mites, plant spores, fabric lint, bacteria, anything that's going to aggravate your allergy. I want you to do this. I want you to call my friends at Allergy Free. I've got stacks of letters from all over the country from folks that this has helped. Ask your doctor about it, then call 1-800-324-4247. Tell them I told you about it. It's $59.95. Yes, sir, for $59.95. You're going to create a cleaner, healthier environment for you and your family. Don't put this off another minute. 1-800-324-4247, and you be sure and tell them that Ludlow Porch told you to call.
You know what I just heard? 85,000 people do volunteer work for the Internal Revenue Service. Now, I can understand giving your time to some hospital or the PTA or the SPCA, but the IRS? That seems a little warped to me. It's like inviting the guy who rear-ends you over for dinner. Think about it. These people don't just work for the IRS. They work for free. Reminds me of that guy who sat in the front row in 6th grade and raised his hand for every single question. Yeah, like Russell Fralin. Yeah, I bet old Russell grew up to be an IRS volunteer.
It may be hard to believe, but thousands of people do help the IRS every year. Look for our trained volunteer tax assistants in libraries, churches, malls, and other convenient locations, January through April. They'll be glad to help you with your taxes. And while you might not understand someone volunteering for the IRS, you will appreciate them. We do.
Hey, maybe they just got confused. I thought IRS stood for Insomniacs for Restful Sleep or individuals to rearrange Stonehenge. It's a splinter group.
The Internal Revenue Service. Answers. Assistance. At your service.
The show you're listening to was taped earlier. Please do not call the numbers that you hear being given out. Now, more conversation on News Talk Radio AM-750, WSB. One 800-572-8255. Watkinsville, Georgia, and Woody Duck. Hello, Woody.
Good morning, Lud.
Good morning.
Kind of icy here in Watkinsville, but the roads are clear.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Well, I've had some exciting phone calls since we did the program Tuesday. Learned a lot.
Well, good.
Mr. Philip Wood, a veterinarian down in Madison, called and said he had 7 or 8 purple martins showed up on the 21st of February. So there are some around, and I hope they're not starving to death today. It's pretty hard day to try to find insects.
Yeah.
And Becky, and I think she said she was in Woodstock. This is Buck Naked's daughter.
Okay.
Called me last night and said they have on videotape some hummingbirds that were coming to their feeder last year. And they got a picture of a female hummingbird sitting on the feeder when a male hummingbird came in and grabbed her head in his beak and flipped him back over his shoulder. Flipped her back over his shoulder.
That's the famous karate hummingbird.
Yeah, that's right. Practicing some wrestling moves there. Must watch the wrestling on TV, but I had never seen that. That was an interesting observation. And other than that, it's been a pretty good week. And back to Monday, what I attribute to fat grease.
Yeah.
Did anybody mention that Jerry Lee Lewis favorite, the Great Balls of Fat?
No, they didn't.
Didn't they?
No.
Oh, I'm surprised they missed it.
And that is a shame. That is. I'm gonna tell you what I had on my deck, Woody.
What's that?
We had about 4 inches of snow up there.
Yeah.
And I had my feeder sits on my deck in that aluminum pan. You've seen it, with the holes in the bottom. Some little juncos came
Yeah.
And they couldn't get to it. So they will sit down on the snow and melt their way down to that feed.
Right.
And we watched them all day.
Oh.
And not one, but maybe 20 we saw doing that.
Well, when that's all you got to eat, you can't get resourceful, you know.
Boy, they really got resourceful.
But mentioning that, too, with everything covered with ice this morning, especially the trees, grass, all this seed and food is covered up, the important time to put out some bird seed.
And some water.
And some water, right. And with the temperature the way it is, the water probably won't freeze even if you don't have a defroster.
Yeah, right.
But it's hanging right around freezing here, but it's new water is not freezing. But, one more, Lud.
All right.
Back to our tribute. Did anybody mention Elvis' song, You Ain't Nothing But a Chili Dog?
No, but we
did. Too.
We did get one of Elvis's big hits, Return to Render.
Oh, yeah, I heard that one.
Got that
but
one.
I was in and out all day, and I missed some of them, I know, so I didn't know if you had these or not.
Well, you try to stay in today.
Well, I'm fixing to leave Watkinsville and drive to Gainesville. I got to go up and visit with Darrell Harris for a while, and I got four-wheel drive, though, but hopefully I won't need it.
I hope you don't. I think the road's in pretty good shape.
I think so, too. They are here anyway. And enjoy the week, Lud, and you and Denny have a good weekend.
All right, buddy.
Talk to you later.
Thank you, Woody.
All right, bye-bye.
Woody Duck, our resident expert on all things feathered. Our number, 1-800-572-8255. Ludlow Porch and Denny. You know what? I just thought of a scary thing this morning. Denny was talking about having a whole hog sausage for breakfast out of a vending machine. I don't know what whole hog sausage is, but I want you to stop and just think about that. Whole hog sausage. Is that the scariest thing you have ever heard? I'm not sure I ever want whole hog sausage. Selected parts of the hog, but never, ever whole hog sausage. Scary as it can be. 1-800-572-8255. Heard two interesting car commercials this week. One of them where the guy was screaming at me to come quick and buy a new car before the price went up because they had this special sale. And if I didn't get one now, I was never going to be able to get one that cheap again. And he was hollering about this, hooping and hollering. And then less than 5 minutes later, a man came on talking real low and very sincere about his car. Gimmicks, gang. You're never going to get any of that from the folks at Jasper Jeep. They don't do it, and they don't want me to do it. And they just don't get involved in that sort of thing. No buffalo feathers ever from the good folks at Jasper Jeep. Nicest people you're going to find anywhere. The thing's going to get you in up there sooner or later. It's going to be the fact that they'll sell you a Jeep cheaper than anybody else, and you'll find it out when you start checking around. Ask them what the price is. They give it to you, and it's never an extra dollar. That price they give you, that first price they give you, is carved in marble, and that is yours. You're as safe up there from this sort of gimmicks and harassment as you are in your mama's arms. No games, no gimmicks, no lying. They look the buyer right in the eye and tell them the truth every time. That's what's made them successful. That's what made them the largest Jeep dealer this side of California. And it's an easy way to do business. It's the right way to do business. Jasper Jeep in Jasper, Georgia. Save you a bunch of money and treat you like you're somebody. Jasper Jeep. No matter where you live, gang, your Jeep dealership is in Jasper, Georgia.
Should I talk about freebasing? I got to talk about what happened to me. Freebasing, I freebased about 8 months straight. This pipe controlled my very being. Don't answer the phone. We have smoking to do. It started out innocently enough. You know, every now and then. Then pretty soon I noticed I wasn't walking as far away from the pipe as I used to. My friends, they tried. Listen, I was doing so much, I embarrassed cocaine dealers. They would say, Richard, man, well, how much you want? A kilo. Just for the weekend.
If you're laughing, You've probably never been a drug addict. The United Way of Metro Atlanta helps Atlantans who are. If you can afford to laugh, you can afford to give.
Hi, I'm Ludlow Porch, and you're listening to a taped rebroadcast of my show on News Talk Radio AM-750 WSB. $572-8255 on our Catch-Up Friday. Elfrida in Griffin, Georgia. Hello, Elfrida.
Hello, Ludlow.
How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. How you today?
Doing good, doing good.
He and Woody Duck reminded me, I just bought some 3-cent stamps, and it has the Eastern Bluebird on them. I wish they were on the 29-cent stamp.
Yeah.
They're real beautiful.
They're pretty.
What I called about was, it's one more word on peanut butter.
Okay.
Some years ago, I read in Dear Abby where this beautician wrote in and said that to get chewing gum or bubble gum out of children's hair, to use peanut butter.
Yeah.
And I just thought that might be useful.
Yeah, and that works too.
Yes, it does.
The child thinks you lost your mind, but it works.
Well, I use Crisco with mine. It works also. I have made an interesting observation about your program, that I have noticed that since you've been on the network, that all the local radio stations seem to call you regularly, either personnel or the manager or the owner, like here in Griffin, WHIE, Fred. Whenever Fred calls, I know we're going to learn something.
That's the truth.
But they all seem to enjoy it just like we do, know. And that, I think that's very unusual that the radio stations take, a part in it. I enjoy hearing the man from LaGrange.
Good people, and we are fortunate in being involved with some of the best folks in and out of radio.
Well, we're fortunate in having you.
You're a sweetheart, Elfrida. You come see us.
Do you have time for a couple of presidential trivia?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. What president was an ex-slave?
What president was an ex-slave?
Yes, he was a slave.
Well,
when he was young.
You're talking about Andrew Johnson.
Yes.
And he was actually a bond servant, which is about the same thing as a slave.
That's what, that was according to my information.
Right.
Yes. And, all right, now, the other week on PBS, there was a documentary of Queen Elizabeth, a year in her life.
Uh-huh.
And there she was going through her mail. She said she couldn't read all her mail, but she made a statement that was very much American, and it was attributed to one of our presidents. Do you have any idea what that was?
No.
The buck stops here. And thinking it's Queen of England using that.
Yeah.
And, of course, you know which president that was.
Yeah, our beloved Harry Truman.
Yes.
Interesting.
I just thought it was interesting.
Very interesting. Yeah, Frida, call us again.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Canton, Georgia, and Chuck. Hello, Chuck.
Yeah.
How you doing?
I need to know, could a hummingbird speak if he came at you, put your eye out?
Yeah, sure.
That's what I was afraid of.
Well, they're not going to come after you. You just don't. They're docile little creatures. All birds are kind of mean, but I never heard of a rabid hummingbird attack.
Well, I know, but like Greg and I'd be sitting on the porch, and I have like 6 hummingbird feeders out, and some in the back and then in the front, and we like to watch them fight. But they'll come zooming in, chasing each other. Where we're sitting, and I thought, we could get an eye put out.
Oh, I don't think I think they're going to stay way away from you.
I don't know. The little female came in, and she just got right in front of me, and she just hovered there. And I said, well, baby, I'm glad to see you back. And I just talked to her, and she just sat there, I'm kind of weird.
I don't want you sitting down there, sitting over in Canton, afraid of your hummingbirds now. They're pretty and they're beautiful and they won't hurt you.
Well, I just thought, well, God, I may be creating a monster here to get an eye put out because they like jets, you know.
Yeah,
it's like an airport out there. When I get about 20 going.
Yeah, I know it. But let me assure you that they're just fun to watch and they're not going to hurt you.
Oh, we love them. We love to watch them. But I just wondered, you know.
No, you're cool. Don't worry about it. I promise you it'll be all right.
Okay.
You
Put
take
that in writing.
Yeah, okay.
Thanks.
Take care, Chug.
Uh-huh.
Nabob in Macon. Hello, Nabob.
How about it, Ludlow?
How you doing, big guy?
I'm doing all right. Just wanted to call you and give you a couple of poems on Greece.
Okay.
And I wanted to mention something about a Phillips screwdriver, too. The first poem concerns donuts. It's real old, goes like this. I went to Atlanta and I walked around the block and I walked right into a baker's shop and picked 2 donuts out of the grease and handed the baker 5 cents. He looked at the nickel and he looked at me and he said, "This money is no good, you see. There's a hole in the middle and it's all the way through." Says I, "There's a hole in your donut, too." If they cost a nickel for 2, you know how old it is.
Old poem. Listen, hang on just a minute. I need to take care of some business and I'll get right back to you, let you finish up. All right. 1-800-572-8255. Friday, my favorite day. Stay with us.
Pete Rozelle, the former National Football League commissioner, and Senator Sam Nunn, Richard Lugar, and Thomas Daschle all have something in common. The first man to walk on the moon, Neil Armstrong, and NBC television news anchor Tom Brokaw also belong to the same distinguished group. Each of these men graduated from the American Legion Boy State program. Today, thousands of high school juniors continue to participate in American Legion Boy State each summer, learning the intricate workings of city, county, and state government. Each young man is assigned a political party. Campaigns are waged, elections held. Legislative, administrative, and judicial programs are then developed by citizens of Boy State to meet contemporary needs. At American Legion Boy State, young men learn about our democratic government by participation. American Legion Boy State, building a better tomorrow by educating our youth today.
If only babies came with instructions. They'd all be loved and nurtured, cherished and protected, and thousands of them could be saved every year from choking, suffocating, or other breathing emergencies. Because the instruction tag would simply say, "Please learn American Red Cross Infant and Child CPR." American Red Cross, we help you help others.
After 6 years, 4 months, and 17 days in prison, I am free.
Surely there is nothing so sweet, so beautiful, so precious as freedom and liberty.
For over 30 years, Amnesty International has worked to free prisoners of conscience, to stop torture, to prevent executions, and to protect human rights. Amnesty International. Raise your voice. 1-800-55-AMNESTY.
My exclusive 5-day forecast, overnight clear and cold, some frost, low 29. Then for Monday, turning partly cloudy and mild, high near 60, low 34. Extended outlook Tuesday through Thursday, partly cloudy Tuesday, a chance of rain Wednesday and Thursday, highs 54, lows 39. Recapping the weather overnight, clear and cold, low 29. I'm meteorologist Kirk Mellish in the AM-750 WSB Weather Center.
The show you're listening to was taped earlier. Please do not call the numbers that you hear being given out. Now, more conversation on News Talk Radio AM-750 WSB. 1-800-572-8255 is our number. We're talking to Nabob in Macon, Georgia. You still with us, old friend?
Yeah, right here, Luddy.
All right, go right ahead now.
Okay, the other Grease poem is one that says, if you want to get to heaven, I can tell you how to do it. Just grease your feet with lard and suet. And when you hear the Lord's command, slide right on into the promised land. The guy mentioned a fire.
Yeah, fire in his house, yeah.
Yeah, I once had a fire in the bathroom, but we got it put out before it reached the house.
Nabob.
Look here, on the Phillips screwdriver, I listen to you most of the time out pruning trees or something on a headset, Sony Walkman.
Mm-hmm.
And so I can't have any opportunity to call you much. I'm too far down at the back of the lot. But I heard talking about the Phillips screwdriver the other day and why it was invented. It was a mass production tool to keep the screw concentric with a power-driven device, pneumatic or electric. A common screwdriver will slide out one side of the slot or the other and booger up the work something wonderful.
What year did the Phillips screwdriver come out? I wonder if anybody knows that.
No, I don't.
Interesting.
I encountered Phillips screwdrivers before World War II, but my father had some.
Yeah. Nabob, I'm glad you called, big boy.
Thank you. Enjoy it.
Take care of yourself.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye. We're going to talk to Her Royal Highness now, the Princess. Hello, Princess.
Hi. Before we get to real important...
You need to speak up. Sound like you're in a hole somewhere.
Before, it's new telephone.
Okay.
Can you hear better?
Yeah.
Okay. Before we get to the really important stuff, a princess never says grease.
I never thought of that.
We say shortening, or margarine, or vegetable oil, or salad oil.
You ever say lard?
No.
Never.
Not except in the privacy of our own kitchen.
I see. Okay.
But the biggest news is, this is one of those weeks that I should have stayed in bed.
Bad week for you.
Well, my husband's moving his business, which is a deal.
Uh-huh.
We're moving into these huge facilities. I now have my own telephone, my own office, and my own bathroom.
Oh, I like that.
So it's kind of a big deal. On Wednesday, the princess wrecked her royal carriage.
She didn't.
Oh, yes, she did. And would a princess have just a little minor fender bender?
No.
Ooh.
Death and destruction.
Well, fortunately, nobody was hurt. But we did total the car. Really bad.
Yeah.
This poor little car out here is just sort of looking very sad.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of to top the whole week off, I broke, this is no joke, broke a fingernail in the car wreck.
Heavens.
And I got a fever blister this morning.
Bad week. I didn't think royalty had fever blisters.
Me either. So you can imagine the shock.
The shock and dismay.
Yeah, it's just, one of those weeks. It happened to Princess Diana.
Yeah, yeah, she's had one of those lives, hasn't she?
If it can happen to Princess Di, it can happen to this princess.
That's true. That's true.
But, next week is going to be better.
Well, I'm glad.
And we always have you.
Aren't you kind? Aren't you kind? I'm glad you called.
Well, bye.
Bye. Kitty Litter is on deck. Hello, Kitty.
Grace, release me, let me go.
Oh, one of my favorites.
I keep getting on the flow. Isn't that Southern?
I love it.
Well, I couldn't get through on Grease Day, but I have finally gotten over that.
Well, we're glad you made it. Better late than never, Kitty.
Yes, and I would like to thank Ciro for that wonderful rendition of Happy Birthday on my birthday.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that even better than Happy Birthday, dear.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah.
So, anyhow, I had a real nice birthday, and I got the sweetest birthday card from Charles de Gaulle. That man is a sweet man.
Oh, yeah, nice man.
He really put a lot of thought into it, I could tell, because it was very flattering, and it was all true. So, anyhow, I tell you, we've got some ice. Where are you?
I'm at Swanee.
You are?
Yeah.
Well, we got some ice in Tucker. Can you believe that?
I'm looking at icicles right this minute. Yeah, a lot of ice.
Yeah, even my garbage cans had ice on them this morning.
Yeah.
But we're we're going to do okay, and I just want to wish you a happy Friday.
And same to you.
And do try to behave, Ludlow.
I'm going to do my very best, Kitty. You take care of yourself.
I'll do it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Kitty Litter, the one and only. 1-800-572-8255. Our Friday catch-up day. We're going to be having our drawing in a few minutes for the allergy-free filter and the air freshener / car filter for your car and one of my books. So you stick around and maybe you'll be a winner. We'll tell you how to enter for next week very shortly. Speaking of the car filter, you know how the dust and odor build up inside your car and how you do all these wild things to make your car smell fresh, hang things in the rearview mirror, put that spray in there. Don't have to do that anymore because my friends who make the famous electrostatic air filter for your home got a great new product. It's an allergy-free auto air purifier. Really, really works. A little bitty thing that plugs right into your cigarette lighter. And you hardly know what's there. Smoke and odors are virtually eliminated by the production of just billions and billions of negatively charged ions and leaves your car smelling fresh, clean. And if you're a smoker or there's a smoker in your family or ever in your car, you got to have this one. 30-day money-back guarantee. Got a 1-year limited warranty, and if you're not satisfied with this rascal within 30 days, just send it back, and they'll send you a full refund, no questions asked. Auto Air Purifier. Now, normally this little jobby costs $39.95, but if you tell them I told you to call and you want that air filter, it's only $29.95. So get your credit card ready now, gang, and you call them right now. 1-800-324-4247. First thing out of your mouth ought to be, Ludlow told me to call you, so you get that $10 knocked off of this thing, and they'll get it in the mail to you, and your car will be more fun to own and drive and breathe in. 1-800-324-4247. Allergy-free. It's a good one. You call them today. 1-800-324-4247.
What is a man? A man stands up for himself. He relies on his own strength, makes his own breaks, and he has the right to a fighting chance in life. Doesn't a baby just starting life deserve the same fighting chance? If you're a man with a woman who's pregnant, it's up to you to help make sure the baby gets one. Help the woman you're with get the care she needs. If she doesn't, the baby may be born sick or too early, so small and so helpless it can hardly hang on to life, let alone fight. Every man has the power to give a helpless child a fighting chance. Call 1-800-232-3237 for help. 1-800-232-3237. This message comes from the Department of Health and Human Services, the March of Dimes, the Ad Council, and this radio station.
I'm Ludlow Porch, and you're listening to a taped rebroadcast of my show on News Talk Radio AM-750 WSB. 1-800-572-8255. She's here, our very own Peanut. Hello, very own Peanut.
Good morning. Happy Icy Dicey Friday to you.
It is.
Happy Icy Dicey Friday to you. I appreciate you and Danny coming on in early. What will we do without either one of you?
You know, I got here last night. I didn't even leave the mountains till 10 o'clock.
Good gracious.
And it took me 15 minutes to get enough ice off the car. It was raining and freezing, and
bless your heart.
It was a mess.
I'll bet. Do you have any problems, slippery or anything?
No. It was one tree across the road I had to kind of go around, but that was all.
One one of the early morning reports, they had a guy stationed out there near you, there at Swanee. They said, what is that, 75 and Swanee?
85.
85
Yeah.
and Swanee. And it looked like traffic in the background from him was moving pretty good, so I was hoping you were okay.
Yeah, well, I was fine. I watched him on television, too, from the comfort of the Falcon Inn, yeah.
Hot dog. Well, I missed it the other day, and I felt like oil was neglected. And I have an ode to oil, and you'll never guess what kind, right?
What kind?
Well, let me tell you.
Okay.
You may labor, and you may toil, but there's nothing better than peanut oil. It's kind to your heart, and your arteries won't get hard. When peanut oil you faithfully use, your weight it also will not abuse. So gather ye oil of peanuts while ye may, because using it will get you through another day.
Very good. Very good.
Thought you'd enjoy that. Really enjoy that. That was fun. And you say we're going to do that every year?
Oh, yeah. There will be an annual tribute to Greece, because Greece is our friend.
Great. Can I do some peanut ponderings? Have you got time?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, why are saints saints? Because they were cheerful when it was difficult to be cheerful. Patient when it was difficult to be patient. And because they pushed on when they wanted to stand still and kept silent when they wanted to talk. And were agreeable when they wanted to be disagreeable. That was all. It was quite simple. And always will be.
Very nice.
It's okay to ask dumb questions. They're easier to handle than dumb mistakes. And this is my very favorite.
All right.
And I'll sign off with this one because I know others need to get on. To be able to love a butterfly, you must care for a few caterpillars.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
But you be safe going home and have a wonderful weekend, and all the wackos keep safe out there and be careful.
All right. Be sweet. I'll talk to you.
Love you a lot.
Take
Thank
care.
you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Newton County, Georgia, and Ann. Hello, Ann.
Yes.
How you doing?
Oh, I'm pretty nervous.
Why are you nervous?
Second time caller.
Nobody's listening but your friends.
Nobody's listening. I don't have many friends.
Yes, you.
Well, anyway, I have a grease thing left over. I didn't get to get in to you the other day.
All right.
I jotted down a poem.
Good.
So I'll read my poem.
Let's have it.
Grease, man's best friend until the cholesterol frenzy came, and then clots in your arteries to stop the flow. Triglycerides are high. No more eating, of the animal meat or the greasy French fries. The foods that we love, they've all been denied. If we listen to the doctors, we don't have long to live. No fast food restaurants. If we sneak some fat, will they forgive? The grease and the butter and all the sauces, too. I'm sorry, they will say, your life down here is through. But when I meet St. Peter at the pearly gate, I hope he'll have some fat back on my heavenly plate. And that's it.
And that's wonderful.
Oh, me.
That's wonderful.
We glad you got in today.
You take care of yourself.
Okay, you too.
I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Guess who is here? That's right. Irish Stew is on the line. Good morning, Irish.
Good morning, Ludlow. I hope you'll have some fat back on my heavenly plate.
Don't you love it?
I love it.
Don't you love it?
There's creative people out there. It's amazing.
I bet that's why it's taken off.
Yeah, I think my flight's leaving. That Denny is a wonder. Denny and I figured out this weather stuff.
Oh?
It's a major conspiracy between all the food chains and the weather people.
Yeah.
We all rush to the store and buy that milk and bread, and they give a kickback to, all the weathermen.
I never thought about that.
Well, we have figured a way to break this, too.
How's that?
We're switching to beer and crackers and forget the milk and bread.
Listen, don't let Denny kid you. He made that switch 20 years ago.
Somehow I knew that. Listen, yesterday I was reading the paper and I read about the squirrel in the toilet, and the first person I thought of was you.
Yeah.
I said, this is something Ludlow would appreciate, and darn if I didn't hear Kim talking to you about it.
Yeah, call. That's funny.
Honey, you'd be having a memorial service for me.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that would have scared me to death.
Let's tell everybody what we're talking about. An article, a story in the paper yesterday about a lady over in Lawrenceville who went to the bathroom and found a squirrel in the commode, only she found him too late after he had scratched her, and she slammed the lid, not knowing what it was, knocked him unconscious, and he drowned. And then they had a memorial service to the squirrel. Is that the most wonderful thing you ever heard?
Somewhere the ASPCA is having a fit.
Yeah.
But now, only in the newspapers do you get these things. Truth is stranger than fiction. Did you happen to see the article, Wednesday morning's paper, about the high school in Slidell, Louisiana?
No.
This is the most creative thing I've ever heard of. This group of high school kids in Slidell, Louisiana, are trying to raise money for their senior prom. So what they've done is they've marked off their baseball field in a grid.
Yeah.
2,000 squares in this grid, and each one numbered. And for $10, you buy a square. And then, when they've sold all the squares, they're going to turn a cow loose.
Right.
And let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah, if it falls on your number,
you win.
Yeah.
You win $1,000, and they make $19,000 in profit.
Mm-hmm.
I thought, I like these kids. These are a creative bunch of kids.
That's, yeah, I've heard of that before.
Loved it.
It is creative. A little disgusting, but very creative.
Hey, I was trying to find an address. I was going to send my $10 over. You want me to send 10 for you, too?
Speaking of the wonderful state of Louisiana, I read yesterday that the casino they're building in New Orleans going to be the biggest in the world.
Oh, really?
Think about that for a minute. The biggest in the world.
Geez, I'm going to have to start bidding New Orleans trips, aren't I?
Those folks over there are about to have them a casino because there are some big casinos in the world.
There sure are.
Wow.
Boy, between the cow chips and the casinos, they're supposed to be betting fools, aren't they?
Yeah. And if it's anything else like the rest of Louisiana is, you'll be able to gamble over there anytime, day or night, year-round, 7 days a week.
You reckon they'd let Boo-Boo be the pit boss down there?
Oh, he could be. He's been in the pits for years, you know.
He could run that place.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I hadn't heard about that. I'll have to go check that out. Maybe we'll have a Bronco party in New Orleans.
Biggest in the world. That's impressive.
That is impressive. Goodness. Well, you stay warm this weekend.
I'm going to do it.
On the fire.
I'm going to do it. You do the same, and
I'll let you know if we win at the cow chip contest.
Yeah, you flying this weekend?
No, honey, I'm home for the weekend.
Stay home where it's warm.
Stay home where the beer is cold and the fire is warm.
You're a bad woman, you know that.
I know it. It's hanging around Denny.
I'll talk to you.
All right, bye.
1-800-572-8255. A lot of wackos on hold. We're going to talk to them right after this.
A limited income. My husband and I can't afford buying a new car or a new truck, and the monthly notes, not to mention insurance, taxes. Well, that's why we chose Jasper Engines and Transmission in Atlanta. Jasper installed a factory-built
station on News Talk Radio AM-750 WSB. 1-800-572-8255. It is now time for a great personal pleasure for me and to introduce one of nature's noblemen, and as far as we know, the only doggy chiropractor in Hawkinsville, Georgia, the more than wonderful Dr. Bruce. Dr. Bruce, what a pleasure to have you.
How's it going?
It's going well. How you doing?
Oh, fine. Thank you for that warm introduction there.
Well, you're more than welcome.
My time's up, right? I see right through you.
That is more than deserved.
Yeah, well, you get snowed in up there?
Oh, no, we're here.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's good. I tell you what, that Denny, he's a good fella.
He is a nice fella.
You know, you've had a lot of people work for you. He's the best.
He's a good one, no question.
Yeah. Well, I made 10 quick dollars there. Have you noticed lately how many ugly people there are out there?
No, you seeing a lot of ugly people?
A lot of ugly people. You know, you shouldn't let them be allowed to breed. Because they're just going to make ugly children. You ever thought about that?
No, I never thought about that, but I guess you got a point there.
I tell you. I want to thank everybody for the response to my, Ask Dr. Bruce letters, last couple of weeks. And a lot of people called in. I'd like to on there answer Raymond in Forest Park, though.
Okay.
Okay. You ready? Okay?
Yeah.
This is for Raymond.
Raymond in Forest Park.
Yo, mama!
Okay.
I tell you, get all kinds.
Yeah, that's right.
You get all kinds.
That's right. Old man Mayor, you never know what's coming.
I imagine you know about that. You get all kinds. We're talking, Susie, my ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a good old girl. I tell you, I talked to her the other night. back when I was married to Susie, I found out what it was like to come home to a warm, kind, sweet, loving woman.
That's the reason y'all got divorced. She found out about that warm, sweet, loving woman.
Yeah, well, yeah. I was in the wrong house. She found out about it. I tell you, she was a card. Remember I told her, she said, when she liked making love the best, you know, was when I was out of town. Yeah. I knew right there it was downhill.
Poor old Susie.
Yeah, she's a card, I tell you. Didn't have any sound material this week, so I thought I'd pick on Susie.
Yeah, I decided to steal something from Rodney Dangerfield, you know.
Yeah. No, it's, what's his name? Not Rodney, gosh, I can't think
What's
of
that famous Rodney Dangerfield line? Said I got in a taxi cab and told the driver to take me where the action was, and he took me to my house.
Oh, yeah. and another one, another guy did about, he went on a pleasure trip the other night. He took his mother-in-law to the airport. I love those little one-liner things, you know. Gosh, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have any material.
No, that's not true.
I get my material the old-fashioned way. I steal it.
Listen, I'm toying with an idea. I want to run it by you.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to have one night a gathering of wackos.
Okay.
Kind of like a wacko party.
Yeah.
And I want to have a bunch of them get up on a stage and perform. Yeah. Would you get on the stage and do some stolen material for us?
Sure would. I might even throw a couple of my own stuff things in there, you know?
No, don't you do that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You use the stolen stuff, okay.
It's just something I'm thinking about. It's an idea that will probably grow.
Oh, I'll be glad to, and I'd like to be up there with Milton, too. He's a good fella.
Oh, yeah.
Milton and Norman Claycher, Norman.
And we could just use the wackos and have an old-fashioned stage show.
Yeah, sounds good to me. How much is in it for me?
I love it. Well, I think probably you'll just get to meet some nice people.
Oh, that's great. That's all I need.
That's all I
want.
That's
I tell you what, the many times I've been with the wackos before, I've really enjoyed it. It's been something I've been able to tell people about and I can treasure for life.
A great crowd. That'd be fun. We'll do that one night.
Yeah. You get a time, you let me know. I'll be glad to be there.
And that way we'll give everybody a chance to meet the wackos.